Hello everybody, welcome back for some StarCraft 2 action. We have a MaNa going up against Ryung on Alcyone, Alcyone, whatever pronunciation you subscribe to. We're here for HomeStory Cup 25, Group A. And as mentioned last time, MaNa has been kind of looking hot. He's been playing good. The other side, I mean, it's Ryung. He's a Korean, and he's a Terran player. He's both. That's pretty OP. He's usually pretty strong. And these two, together with Clem, are kind of like the top two contenders. Because we have MaNa, we have Ryung, we have Clem, we have Hydra, we have Fjant, and we have Eon Blue in Group A. So I think it's not too controversial that we expect Ryung, MaNa, Clem, and in my mind, maybe Fjant to make it out in top two. But it's mostly about the first three we mentioned. So this match is pretty goddamn important because Clem is Clem. So whomever wins between these two players has a really, really good chance of getting out of Group A because it's top two advances out of 6 players, which is pretty rough. And we see Ryung expanding here with a Marine, so no Reaper. I'm going to destroy the camera for 1 second. There we go. I don't know why, but if you want to change camera, it like locks on their vision. So usually I do it before I start the recording, but I forgot it. A little bit of observing inside there for you. Oh, and the depot goes up. The probe is stuck, and the probe did not get the confirmation on an early factory. Oh, I was about to say, didn't even see a second gas, but it is scouted, as you can see. But it was just never made. It's also very hard to go that early of a CC with a second gas. Like, you just have to stop making SCVs to get that done. And, I mean, most people don't stop making SCVs. Now we see Twilight Console here. And the last video was Cyan versus Bunny. And on this map, I think it was this map, but I'm not 100% sure. Cyan also bust out the Twilight because he showed us mostly Phoenix Colossus, so opening up an early Stargate, getting up the Phoenix, and then getting the Robo, getting like Unimmortal or Unobserver whilst getting the Robotic Support Bay, and going into those Colossi, and then 2 to 3 Colossi. And then they would just basically go into disruptors. And they would stay pretty light on the Phoenix as well. Now we see a Robo in front here for MaNa. Very interested to see what this Twilight Console is going to do. He has... yeah, that's what I was about to say. He has 150 gas for the blink. Of course, that's what I was about to say. You know, I couldn't be wrong. Second barracks coming out for Ryung. And as a Zerg main, it's been pretty surprising how many barracks Terrans make early on versus Protoss. They're like, I just want to have a bunch of bio and push out. Most of the time, now Ryung is going for a pretty fast 3rd CC here. That is not surprising to me at all as a Zerg main. And these Cyclones are very key to the matchup, I've noticed, over the last like 8 to 9 months or so that I've been putting a lot of time to casting. I used to, like, not watch these matchups that were non-Zerg related with this much, you know. I wouldn't watch them this much at all, and I wouldn't pay this much attention to them. How many gates? We have 4 gates, a War Prism and Blink. This is a pretty cool attack. I like Blink Stalkers and a War Prism. I like a War Prism without Blink even more. If I play random, which is basically all I do nowadays, I like doing a 4 Stalker super fast War Prism attack. I don't know why, it just feels fun. Just running across the map with your 4 Stalkers, and then going in with the War Prism and like dropping behind the mineral line, and using like pseudo blink, and And then you can just walk like 2 depths into their mineral line. But MaNa here is going for the upgrades. This stim is looking mighty juice. But there's already a tank ready. This SUV's come up the line, making sure that the tank cannot be sniped, because that is kind of what MaNa was going for. If he could get a little bit closer to the tank. Notice how the Sim City from Ryung is stopping MaNa from getting on top of the tanks. Really nice stuff. But this third base, oh my god! This is a lot more stalkers than he was expecting, and the third base burns down. What? Oh my god, Ryung not happy about that. That was not what he was planning for his first game versus MaNa here. Now we have 3 tanks. The stalkers blink on in. MaNa's like, he's got a family. He's already bleeding, but I don't care. I'm going to do even more damage. I've already killed his third base CC. Now I'm going to kill all of his tanks. I'm going to kill all of his SUVs. I'm going to end this guy's career right here, right now. Korean my ass. And, I mean, it's working. 20 SUVs have died. 1 siege tank tries to siege up and convince MaNa that maybe he should get away from here, but Ryung is at 19 SCVs. This Zealot's gonna tank the tank shot. Oh, the blink in from MaNa again. Snipes the last tank. Just starting a new tank here for Ryung, and now he's got the double blink micro. He can blink and he can pick up into the War Prism, which just keeps your stalkers alive for such a long time. Like, it is a very high ceiling of micro. Like, and unless you're like parting tier or top 3 control Huck, you out there, probably you can practice that a lot before you kind of hit a ceiling. And then you can inch closer and closer and closer to the theoretical max of the efficiency of the stalkers that you can have with these, well, these 2 units, stalkers and a War Prism. You can be so efficient. I think that's one of the coolest things that I've ever added to Protoss, which is weird to say because Protoss usually lame. But like the long range pickup on War Prisms, just crazy. Another blunk from MaNa, not even targeting the siege tank, just going for the Marines and the SCVs. Ryung is playing from his grave right now, and MaNa takes the first game with a super aggressive 4 gateway War Prism style, and Ryung just didn't seem super ready for it. Like, he seemed ready for it in the sense that he had the units to deal with it. He had like, what, 2 tanks when he first blinked in, the third one about to complete? But he had like a CC all the way over here, and it just felt really disjointed. If he made it over there, it would have been fine, you know? He could have even built it over here, and then the moment he jumped in, floated away. But he built it all the way in the corner and didn't lift it off right away. He just didn't appreciate or recognize the danger that MaNa was presenting to him. And MaNa, with this Twilight into Robo build, love to see a non-Stargate build once in a while, takes game number 1. And off of the back of a cool 4-gate Blink Stalker War Prism attack, MaNa trounces Ryung in game number 1 and takes the victory after killing, I think, 2 of his command centers and all of his stuff. So Ryung, we kind of need you to bounce back here, buddy. What's the plan here? Gonna be a barracks? Could have been a command center first, you know? Think about it. Probably kind of bad nowadays. I think ever since the Adept started existing, it's not as good anymore. Let's go for the 14cc, bro. Wait, that's a Heart of the Swarm build, no? I think that's what Flash used to do. But we start with too many workers nowadays. MaNa, go in here for the Probe Scout before the action kicks off. Guys, thank you so much for the recent influx in subscriptions and comments and whatever. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider it. Like the video, whatever. Leave a comment, you know, all the good stuff. Thank you. Let's talk about the games now. I want to try and keep those calls to action short, but I always end up rambling. So I'll try and improve. I'll try to make him a little shorter. You know, in your mind, you're just like a quick bam, pow, pow. Sure to like and subscribe, thank you very much, but that feels so... I don't know, it's easy to ignore as a listener, right? Because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I know that I just ignore that stuff. So I'm kind of like... How do I break the ice? Reaper's coming out. And the reactor started. I wonder if the factory's gonna use that. Doesn't seem like it. The factory was spotted, and the double gas is coming out. So no early second command center for Ryung this time around. So not going the super greedy route that he did in game 1 with the early second and early third CC. Now we see the factory, and I'm expecting a super fast Stargate here. But instead we get a Cyclone. Trying to be safe out there. And I mean, you should be safe out there. And now we do get a Stargate here from MaNa. So no Twilight shenaniganry this time around. And maybe that was MaNa reacting to the fact that there was no Reaper on the map. That would be pretty cool if he was like, oh, there's an early CC, I see Marines, there's no Reaper, there's no way he's gonna scout my Twilight without a scan. Sorry, a little bit of a cough. The Adept takes care of the Reaper, and the second Adept, or well, I guess this was the first one, got into the main base. Even took down an SCV building the starport. Or no, it was the CC actually. Look at this red SCV. 1 health. He's seen some stuff. But he's still building. He's doing it for his family. Now, even though he hates his job, he goes there every day. Because he wants to keep his house. He wants to feed his children. He wants to like hug his wife on the couch. Doesn't want to like live under a bridge. He has responsibilities now, Billy. Second command center finishes up for Ryung. And we get a second barracks. We have a medevac chock full of widow mines. Or, well, just 2 actually. Not that chock full. And we see an Oracle coming out. On the back of that, we see Phoenix and a Robo. So, Phoenix Colossus, perhaps. And this Cyclone. Make sure that this Oracle doesn't even dare turn on its energy beams. It locks on. The Oracle throws in a Revelation as a retaliation. And Ryung's drop here hasn't really done that much. What is this? Puts down 2 Widow Mines. Oh, he's trying to bait the Phoenix. That's what it is. Look at this. He's kind of like, I know this is going to be Phoenix, so I'm going to put down the Widow Mines. I'm going to try and get those Phoenix to chase me. But instead, MaNa just didn't really react. Look at this. He's just baiting him like, come here, little buddy. Hey. Hey, buddy. Hi. Look at that Widow Mine. Boom! Hits the first Phoenix. And he immediately picks it up. Now he boosts in as if he would drop it. Oh, and now the Revelate comes out. Second Widow Mine gets taken down, and now the medevac and the Widow Mine are forfeit. Second boost comes out. He can go into the main base. He drops it, and it gets lifted, and it gets killed. But does buy a lot of time, and he scouts without a doubt that the robotics facility is online. So yes, it is going to be Phoenix Colossus. And how is Ryung going to deal with that? He builds 2 turrets right away, knowing that these Phoenix can now go across the map. And Oracles also exist. Actually, 2 Immortals before the first Colossus. Interesting. I mean, Immortals are good units, don't get me wrong. They are very good units. Third CC in the back, doesn't want it to get sniped once again. Even though there aren't any Blink Stalkers nowadays, the fear is still there. See how many tanks we have. 4 Ryung, 1 tank on the map. Second is coming in. We see a bunch of Medivacs now joining the fray as well. We have +1 underway with stim and combat. So that would be a good time for Ryung to start pushing out. Stim is finishing up, and these upgrades will finish whilst walking across the map. A couple Marines get some shots off onto the Phoenix. And this third base starts making SCVs. Oh no, now it floats over. I don't know if it's... I guess it's better to float it over and make an orbital there if you have more than 16 SCVs on your natural. Or main base, obviously. How many Phoenix are on the map? It's 5 in total, so these are all of them. 1 more is being created. And so it's really light on the Phoenix Colossus nowadays. It's kind of interesting to me. It just feels like if you have like 8 Phoenix, it feels so much better than 5. But if you lose them or you get attacked, it suddenly feels so bad. I guess he did lose one of the Phoenix. Ryung being very patient here. Starting +1 armor, getting some Vikings up, getting more tanks, and just slowly taking his third base, slowly making more units. Whereas MaNa was being pretty defensive, and now MaNa's like, okay, if you're not attacking me, I'm going to be attacking you. I don't know if this favors MaNa at all. Look at the defensive setup here from Ryung. No turrets, though. If you have like 1 or 2 turrets, well, 1 in the top, I guess, but if you have like at least 1 extra turret here to kind of defend against the siege tanks, make sure that no observer gets close, Colossi can get hit by them as well. Oh, and a couple Marines run in, don't get picked up. It's like, this barely doesn't seem like enough. Oh no, the Phoenix of MaNa get move commanded into the army. Half of the Phoenix just completely evaporate. The tanks get lifted. The Colossus do their damage. 3 big laser beam giraffe boys kill all of the SCVs. And 13 SCVs have perished. And now, oh, the hallucinated Archon here. He was found out because he's still full HP. And nice War Prism micro there. Picks up the Colossus before the Viking can hit them. But I mean, the Viking count should be ever increasing, and that makes it very scary for MaNa here to commit. He's taking a 4th base. And, I mean, should he be still pushing it here? He's kind of pushing the limits of what his army can do here for MaNa. Like, he's already gotten a bunch of SGVs. He's gotten Ryung to commit to more defensive units, but also a 4th base for Ryung is under construction. +1 armor is about to finish. Wow, this Cyclone got laser beamed to death. The favorite types of death that Protoss likes to dish out. 4 more gateways underway here for MaNa. It's making 4 zealots and going to be dropping them into the main most likely. Charge not quite ready. +1 just starting. Oh, okay, that's a little late. 10 minutes into the game, starting +1 attack. For MaNa, he's down 2 upgrades already. Oh, and the Vikings find the War Prism. That is rough. You even see the drilling claws coming out. Now a Doom Drop for Ryung is going out onto the map. And I don't think he didn't see it. Look at that. Oh my god, flying units have more vision. Can you believe it? I think Ryung thinks that MaNa could see it. But that was not true. Unless I'm being gaslit here by the game. MaNa didn't see that, but his zealots still gave Ryung the idea that he was spotted there. So no Doom Drop will be happening. A 4th will be touching grass, even though we are underwater here on Oceanborn. Anybody remember Abyssal Reef? Oh, I remember. When it was still a novelty that dead units would float up to the surface. I mean, wow, Ryung is actually being way more passive than I expected him to be, because Phoenix Colossus seems like such a critical mass composition, where as soon as they get there, you know, when they assemble all the pieces of Exodia, and then you're like, oh, man, oh, this is rough to fight into. And that's what I remember most about that composition, where people were like, okay, I'm gonna rush some Ghosts, I'm gonna rush some Vikings, gonna pull like all of my SCVs and just go out to kill the Protoss player. And it either works or it doesn't. But Ryung, feeling very comfortable here, just maxing out, getting a 4th base, and probably even thinking about more bases this game. And MaNa definitely thinking about more bases. His 5th base is already almost done. And he doesn't have that many gases, actually. He's adding on a lot of gateways. He has 8 gateways, 4 more coming in. Another Robo, Dark Templar Shrine. And he already has 2 Robos, by the way, so that's a 3rd Robo. And he's going to be able to just hammer out, I don't know, shotgun out, machine gun out, rapid fire out, all of those Zealots in an instant. And at some point, it's not just going to be Zealots, it's going to be Dark Templar. And if you've played Terran in this matchup, you know the fear of like 16 Dark Templar just blinking on top of your planetary fortress and just making it not exist anymore. Just unaliving your 5th base in an instant. Now you see me. Soon, you won't. Mirage tank reference, got him. Oh, that Colossus instantaneously died. And Ryung, as his army split up, is taking a pretty decent trade here on the right, but the entire army of MaNa is going to collapse onto it. But still, Ryung is getting a lot of trading done, and in the 4th base, oh my god, the recall comes out from MaNa, splitting his army with the recall. Nice meme. Oh, the Dark Templar Shrine gets denied. A couple DTs do get warped in, but the Blink, or Dark Templar Blink upgrade has been denied. The Vikings have taken to the ground, and their anti-mechanical machine guns are taking down the Stalkers left, right, and center. The 1 upgrade advantage for Ryung is doing wonders here. Like, all the trades are just favoring him that much more. Goodbye, Mr. Viking. And of course, the Ghost EMPs, making sure that shields aren't really a thing in these fights. Look at this, Ryung. His army's still stuck here. Like, they're holding out. It's like, at that moment where the Second World War was about to end, there were like a couple of pockets of like German soldiers that were still holding on. This is one of those pockets. And we're like, they just kept on fighting. And Ryung just running in like a maniac, dude. He's like, oh, I got some more units. I've got money, dude. I've got money. I've got Bill Gates money, Jeff Bezos money. I've got that Elon Musk compensation package. I'm just gonna throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Well, that's what he's doing with bio armies. He's just sending them out. Like, go ahead, buddies. Here's some R&D budget. See what you can do. Oh, you know, electric vehicles? I mean, I guess. I mean, launch 50 satellites to have global internet? Sure, fuck it. Let's do it. Because I got money, baby. Look at this. He's just running in. And MaNa's army just discombobulated. Just, you know, not together. Dysregulated. Divided. And Ryung is definitely conquering a lot of MaNa's side of the map. He killed a bunch in the main. He killed a bunch in the natural. Killed a bunch at the 4th base. But now, Ryung's 5th base is being sieged. The planetary fortress does go down, but there's a couple more CCs waiting in the wings. And, wow, Ryung is running in for liberty, killing this 3rd base. Boom, clicked it down. It sees a robo, clicking it down. And he just doesn't effing care. He's playing like a goddamn maniac, and I love it. Look at him. Look at all of his army of MaNa is chasing this stupid rat player. That's kind of what he's doing. He's a rat. He's nibbling away at the feet of MaNa. And MaNa is not having it. Look at that 5th base. Clicked it down. So, what did you do this game to actually, like, win? He's like, I clicked. So, is it because you had a lot of skill? Or like, I just channeled my inner rat? And, honestly, it's going pretty well. This goddamn player, dude, he's making the game so chaotic. He's like, yo, MaNa, you wanna go for a walk in the dark, murky woods? MaNa's like, oh, have you ever been there? He's like, nah, not really. I was like, okay, let's do it. Ryung's like, I was born here. You merely adopted the darkness. Okay. There's a lot of disruptors here, though. 6 disruptors. And we see the balls going out. Dude, Ryung splitting and now surrounding. Is he playing Terran or Zerg? I don't even remember anymore. All of these disruptors don't have charges anymore. And now MaNa gets ambushed in the middle of the map. And he does have some money, but he has more desperation than money at this point. 13 zealots get rapid fired out, but I think it's a little bit too late. Now it's MaNa's turn to do a little bit of surrounding, but Ryung's army just too strong. The 3-3 bio just evaporates anything that comes close. And these zealots, they tried their hardest, their darndest, but the concussive shells of the marauders make them look wimpy. And Ryung, what a game, dude. So convincing. I don't know how this madman does it. Like, he seems like one of those composers, you know, that like makes songs, and you're just kind of like, how is he doing? What? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. A disc jockey. That's what I'm thinking about. Somebody that's like, I don't really listen to that music, but people that like do live mixing, and they just stand on the stage there and like, they move the disc and they like turn the knobs real hard. They're like, I'm gonna turn this knob, baby. I'm gonna make the drop come. Are you ready for the drop? And they're like, and then the drop hits, and then everybody's like, yeah, that was a good drop. But he just makes it so chaotic. That's kind of what it looked like, super freestyly. And I mean, I'm just impressed because MaNa did a really good job of just taming the lion that is Ryung. But in game 2, Ryung gave us a roar, all right. Katy Perry was impressed by that goddamn roar, and now we're in 1-1. So let's go to a game number 3. And here we are in game number 3 between Ryung and MaNa on Site Delta. The winner puts themselves in a good place to go through to the playoffs. Make it out of Group A in at least 2nd place. I think Ryung and Clem already played before these guys played their game. And I'm not sure who won, but I'm going to assume Clem won. I know, it's a really, really brave assumption to think that Clem would win a game or a series. The one thing I have been noticing is that Site Delta, Oceanborn, and Alcyone have been kind of determined by the pros to be the most standard maps and agreeable for most races. And then sometimes you're like, what? They're playing Ghost River or Crimson Court? And then only when it's a best of 7 they dare to even touch Amphion. Which I think is actually a pretty cool map, but apparently it's annoying to play. Because same as in Ghost River, your third base is predetermined, and that's a little abusable. So if you look at this map, Site Delta, you have 2 potential third bases. And one might be better than the other, but at least you have a choice. Whereas on Ghost River, there is no choosing. There is one base that is your third base. And you will get timing attacked on that third base. Because they can design their timing attack because your third base is always there and the rush distance is also very, very little. Now, Reaper's going out for Ryung, and the response is a Stargate from MaNa. The Adept is ready to receive the Reaper. Oh, he's not, actually. He just shaded out. Second Adept is ready, though, to receive the Reaper. Damn, what a warm welcome. Just 2 shots to the face. Dude, it would be so funny if Shades could do the cliff hopping. Like, it wouldn't actually be funny, it would be very terrifying. But for 1 second, I was expecting the Shade to just hop behind the Reaper. I don't know, it's just kind of funny to me. Oh, the Widow Mine. Ooh. Would have actually killed the Adept if the Shade hadn't completed. That is a cheeky Widow Mine placement there from Ryung. That is cool. You can steal that for your ladder games, guys. This is pretty cool. Because often an Adept will spawn here to, like, get vision. And then the Widow Mine will just kill it. And you're like, wow, free Adept kill? Nice. I was just thinking that at some point, I think it was for Heart of the Swarm, but it might have been for Legacy. That, like, the Replicator unit, I think it was the model of the Disruptor, so it's probably like Legacy of the Void. But they made a unit called the Replicator, and it would basically just have the ability to transform into the opponent's units, which they thought was very anti-fun because it made your opponent not make the unit. Because that's the only counter. Like, you have 5 replicators and your opponent has 1 tank, and you're like, oh, I have 5 tanks now. And that made Terrans not make tanks, for example. Which, yeah, that unit sounded kind of dumb. But to keep in spirit with that, spirit, I thought it would be interesting if the Adept Shade would become the unit that they are clicked on. So if you put the Shade onto a Reaper, it becomes the Shade of a Reaper, so it gets the mobility of a Reaper. Which, and then when it shades in, it becomes an Adept again. I thought it would be pretty cool. Just so that they can keep up with whatever unit there is. It might be interesting flavor, but it's probably not interesting enough. You know, as I'm describing it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that would be a funny gimmick at best, but it's also a little weird to see Terran Shades running around and then becoming a Protoss unit all of a sudden. It's not really consistent. Whereas just manifesting your Shade forward as an Adept and then teleporting towards it, kind of like Riddick. The Chronicles of Riddick, very fun movie if you needed a movie to watch tonight. It's not like a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely very enjoyable, you know? Especially if you need like a second monitor movie. Where you're like, yeah, I'm mostly watching the movie, but sometimes I want to do something else. Then it's a good movie. Enjoyable movie. It makes you understand all the Adept jokes I make, okay? It's not even jokes, I guess, just remarks. References, that's what I'm... Well, everybody, are you surprised about the Phoenix and the Colossus that MaNa is making whilst Ryung is cowering in his base, trying not to die? No, we are not. I do kind of like this SimCity setup, though, from Ryung, where all the buildings are offset by 1 hex and, like, kind of make a staircase. It looks kind of cool. Third command turn has been started for Ryung here. The first set of medevacs is gonna come out, and he's just been focusing on his economy and his safety. Tacking up behind it, not really finding any counter damage just yet. Like, he has lost a couple SCVs. To the Oracle, mostly. But nothing game-ending. And soon, Ryung is going to have a big enough army that MaNa is forced to have an answer to it. Because Phoenix aren't very good at direct fights, if you have noticed. So, MaNa is very, very much forced to make sure that he has these expensive Colossi, that he makes enough gateways, and that he doesn't make his third too greedily. Doesn't delve too deep, too greedily. Oh my, these Phoenix are gonna find some juicy damage. They find a Widow Mine, they almost kill a Viking, they find a Cyclone as well, now they find a Medevac as well. Oh my. No! The Phoenix! Save the Phoenix, the queens and everything! Okay, the Phoenix somehow survived. And the stasis trap does go off on a couple Marines. They are very, very radiant, I would say. Holy moly. Those are a lot of particle effects right there. They are glow sticks, basically. Oh my god. And MaNa just walks across the map, becomes aggressive. And these Phoenix finding more and more damage. Look at that. The moment you try to run away, these Phoenix are going to hit your medevacs and make you sad. And now no third base for you, Rungy boy. Ryungy boy. Kind of like Pegasus in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. The Yu-Gi boy. I can't do it. Oh my god, the Colossi, dude. The laser beams. And don't forget this one immortal beneath the Colossi. Completely annihilating that bunker. God, look at the laser beams. This army is so afraid. It doesn't want to do anything. It just needs more Vikings. And as soon as the Viking count is high enough, he can finally push back these Colossus and the Phoenix. Oh, but the Phoenix are doing a number on these Vikings. And MaNa just inching forward slowly but surely, dude. MaNa's big dick in it here. Look at him. I would just not be attacking. I would be like, dude, my army's like so amazing. I could just take a fourth base and I don't have to try and kill him right now, but MaNa's sensing that blood in the water. He's shark mode, all right. Four Vikings trying to target down the Colossus. Nice targeting down the Colossus. Gets the first Colossus kill, but there's still two Colossi here. The third one's underway, and this command center is trying to sneak its way back. It's not an orbital. That's pretty big, actually. Since it's not an orbital, it hasn't been gaining energy for like the last minute or two. And I guess it has to land like somewhere all the way over there, over here. Dude, that is bad. Ryung, you're losing so much value there. That could be like 2 or 3 mules. Look at his army. It's so scared. He's such a big-ass army, but it can't run in. Because there's enough force fields or guardian shield to, like, the moment he runs in, MaNa just runs back. Like, how do you get him out of here? More Vikings. That's the answer. Vikings, Vikings, Vikings. Oh, dude. This is such a cool fight. The ranges, they are so important. You have to use your Vikings well, but if they overstep, the Stalkers shoot them down. So you have to keep your Marines near your Vikings. But that means the Colossi can probably hit them, and a couple Colossi swipes onto your Marines. Like, that's more hurtful than letting your sister-in-law use your credit card to swipe it a couple times, you know? Like, these Colossi swipes hurt a lot more in the bank than any type of credit card swap could. And oh my god, look at this army. It's so red. The medevacs are dead or out of energy, and that is what you do with this composition. You put so much strain on that one starport. It has to make Vikings, but also keep up with the medevac production. And MaNa, dude, the trading for the last like 5 minutes was god tier. Did you see the confidence in this play? He just walked across the map. I was pretty surprised that he did that. And then he denied the third base perfectly. Ryung, his third bases have been awful. They either die or they don't become an orbital. Like, gotta fix that, buddy. And MaNa just kept pushing the issue. And oh my god, the awful position that Ryung had in this game. Like, his Viking count and his medevac count got whittled down so much by the Phoenix and the Stalkers that he couldn't push MaNa back. And so he kept on bullying. MaNa just kept on bullying him with the Colossi and the Phoenix, swiping away at his bank account. And Ryung just couldn't keep up. And he had such a big army, but he just can't take a good fight. Because the moment you stim in, MaNa's like, oh, he's attacking me, obviously, because stim really, really betrays the fact that you want to run in, you know? Because if you stim, you're committing a lot of resources in the energy on your medevacs and temporarily the health on your bio to get into a better position and have more attack speed and movement speed. So if he's like behind the minerals and he stims to run in, MaNa knows like, okay, I move back. And then suddenly MaNa's over here and the bio's over here. And it's like, wow, that arc isn't as big as it previously was. And now the Colossus starts swiping down. And if you commit even deeper into this choke, the force fields come down, or the Guardian shield's already down. And you can't really do anything. And meanwhile, the Phoenix are like over here. So anything that spawns out of the starport needs to be protected as well. And like, such an awful position for Ryung, and MaNa really, really, really abused it so beautifully. And especially this last, like, 2 to 3 minutes of fighting in his natural. At first I was like, how is MaNa allowed to do this? He is allowed to do this. Ryung isn't capable of pushing him out. Why isn't he capable of doing that? And slowly you start piecing it together. Oh. He doesn't have enough Vikings to really force the Colossi and Phoenix away. And so they move up. And the Bio army isn't big enough to stop that either. And they can't take a good fight. And every second that the Viking count isn't high enough, MaNa's taking good trades. So, yes, he should be here. Even though my instinct was like, I mean, if you push into somebody's natural, then, like, the SCVs are going to come off the line. They're going to have a giant arc, and you're just going to lose all your units. But MaNa's like, no, I never have to fight here because I can move back. I've got my force fields. I've got my Phoenix. I've got my long-range Colossi. That was cool. That was cool. StarCraft is StarCraft. That was a game. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.